Well, welcome everyone to the City of Brooks regular council meeting of May the 11th, 2026. And the first thing that we will do is do some introductions. And the first introduction will be by Fire Chief Barry Yokoyama. So if you'd like to introduce our assistant.
Yes, good afternoon, Your Worship and fellow councilors. Today I am super excited to introduce my new Deputy Chief for the City of Brooks Fire Department, Callum Duncan. Callum was raised in Canmore and moved to Brooks quite a few years ago. He's been in Brooks now for close to 16 years. He was a volunteer fire department member for the last 8 years and has done he's a very great asset to the fire department for us, and so I'm super happy that he is a part of us now as a deputy chief. And I'd like you to stand up, Callum.
Now, do you want to say something about yourself in addition to that? Because we'll give you 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Okay, well, thank you very much and welcome to the City of Brooks. And I know you've been a volunteer in the past, so you're a welcome addition to be the Deputy Fire Chief. Thank you very much. And the next introduction we have by HR Manager Shireen Zamil is the Safety Officer. So go ahead, Shireen.
Good afternoon. Through the chair to the mayor and council, I'm here to introduce the newest member of my team, Safety Officer Kayla Fry. With over 20 years of experience in the oil and gas industry, spanning both field and office environments, Kayla brings a comprehensive understanding of operations and workplace safety. For the past 15 years, Kayla has been dedicated to safety, a passion that led her to pursue her occupational health and safety certificate that she'll be completing soon. Throughout her career, Kayla has also served as an internal health and safety auditor with Energy Safe Canada, gaining extensive experience in auditing, compliance, and continuous improvement initiatives. She's deeply committed to fostering a culture where safety is a shared responsibility and employees feel heard, valued, and empowered to contribute to safe work practices. Welcome, Kayla.
Well, Kayla, I'll give you the same opportunity, to talk for about 5 minutes about yourself if you like. You've got it all covered? Okay. Well, welcome to the City of Brooks. And the next thing we will do is recognize our Deputy CAO, interim CAO, Doug Lagore. Now I got everything going as deputies now. Anyway, our interim CAO, Doug Lagore, who has helped us out over the past year through many issues, and he has helped direct us and guide us, and that has been much appreciated by all of us on council, as it has been by all of us as staff as well, I'm quite sure. And as a token of our appreciation, we want to extend a gift to you on behalf of council, and thank you again for everything that you have done over the past year. And we look forward to what you are going to be doing in the future. And hopefully you can be visiting us quite often, whether it's at AU, well, I guess it's not, Alberta Munis and RMA conventions, that we will be seeing you there as well. So on behalf of council, thank you very much. And we'll give you your gift. And what I'll do is ask council to come up front, and then we'll have a little token of a picture being taken. So hopefully somebody's got a camera.
all those items in there were handpicked by our little shoppers, by the way. Anne-Marie? Okay.
So our interim CEO would like to say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I won't take 5 minutes. I just want to say that I've really enjoyed the 1 year that I've spent in Brooks. And the staff that you have here is what made this job easy. And I'll put this team up against any team in Alberta, bar none. Fabulous group. It's been a pleasure being here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, anybody else want to say anything while we're up here? No, there you go.
It's been our rock.
Okay, you have the agenda, or I should say, you got the agenda in front of us. And would somebody like to move the agenda? And it has been moved by Councillor Phillipson that the agenda be adopted. All those in favor? Carried. You've got the minutes from April 27th, 2026, and the special council meeting of April 24th, 2026. There's been a motion to approve the minutes, and it's been moved by Councillor Johnson that the minutes from the regular council meeting held April 27th, 2026, and the special council meeting held April 24th, 2026 be approved. All those in favor? Carried. Any business rising out of the minutes? Okay, seeing none. We have a delegation of one. If Joel Goodenough would like to come up, you'll enlighten us about the Silver Sage Agricultural Society update.
Great, thank you. And just regards to interim CAO, thank you for all you've done. So, good afternoon, Mayor, Council, and members of administration. As you know, my name is Joel Goodenough, and I have the privilege of serving as the Vice President of the Silver Sage Ag Society. I want to thank you for this opportunity to speak to you today and provide an update on who we are, what we're doing, where we're headed as a community organization. So, who are we? Where the Silver Sage is a volunteer-led ag society rooted in supporting agriculture, Western heritage, recreation, tourism, community connection here in Brooks and in the County of Newell. For nearly 28 years, the Silver Sage Community Corral has served as a gathering place for our region, bringing together family, producers, youth businesses, and visitors from across Alberta, Canada, and the United States. Over this time, we have welcomed an estimated over 500,000 guests through our gates, approximately 18,000 visitors annually. Like many organizations, the Silver Sage faced over the years, in 2022, the organization experienced a major board transition and temporarily requiring provincial oversight. During which I was appointed while serving on City Council, and since that time, the society has rebuilt its governance, strengthened operations, focused on long-term sustainability and community partnership. Today, we are much stronger position, guided by renewed leadership, providing improved systems and clear commitment to sustainability, transparency, and community collaborations. So what do we do? On an annual basis, the Silver Sage is one of the most active facilities in our region. Each year, we host approximately 300 days of activities, 20 multi-day events, 56 major events, and 165 single-day events. The Silver Sage is a year-round hub of activity and economic impact for this region. Our events support local tourism, hospitality, agriculture, and small business growth throughout Brooks and the surrounding area. These activities also include rodeos, horse events, agriculture programming, youth activities, trade shows, community fundraisers, family celebration, music concerts, 4-H events, and many more community gatherings. As you know, our signature events each year continue to grow with the Newell Pro Rodeo. Approximately 2,400 guests along with 150 contestants throughout Canada and the U.S. will be here, and more than 50 volunteers throughout rodeo weekend. In recent years, we've now started the New Year's Rodeo and After Party. Has brought over 1,000 guests and over 100 contestants and numerous volunteers, creating a strong tourism and economic impact for Brooks and the region. So where are we going and what are we doing now? Looking ahead, we are focused on long-term growth and sustainability through several key projects. These projects include some building upgrades, including a roof replacement and development of the mezzanine viewing area overlooking the riding area. That will complement about an extra 300 seats. A development of 86 plus space campground, expanding tourism opportunities and increasing oversight guest experience in Brooks, offering year-round and seasonal and overnight camping rentals. Creating a sustainable, this will create a sustainable revenue stream that allows the society to continue to grow and expand. We're also excited to announce that we are planning a new community hall and event center with a capacity for up to 750 people. This development is designed to host weddings, conferences, banquets, agriculture events, trade shows, and community celebrations of all kinds. Also, in consultation with the Calgary Stampede, we are exploring the future expansion and redesign of the outdoor arena space to create a more user-friendly and guest-focused experience that strengthens the Silver Sage as a desired regional destination for events and tourism. We continue to strengthen partners with our local organizations, businesses, and tourism groups while supporting youth, agriculture, rodeo, Western heritage programs. Our partners, which we cannot do any of this without, is obviously, I want to mention their names, the Eastern Irrigation District, the Government of Alberta and Canada, City of Brooks, County of Newell, Agricultural Society, Alberta Agriculture Societies, Brooks Regional Tourism, local businesses and private sponsors, community volunteers such as the Oilsmen and the Kinsmen. These partners are essential to helping us grow responsibly and continue to serve the region. So why does this matter, and why does this matter to us today? We matter because we are more than just a facility. We are a community connector. We exist to support agriculture and ranching in our region, community connection, attracting tourism to Brooks and to the region, preserve our Western heritage, support local economic development, provide volunteer opportunities, and continue the long-term growth of the region. So in closing, here's my ask today, because you're wondering, why are you here, Joel? Let's cut to the chase. Today, I'm here to ask for continued support of the Silver Sage through ongoing dialogue and collaboration regarding the potential connection to the sewer main and water infrastructure that currently runs through our property. Initial conversations with administration during the 2024-2025 period, we are hopeful that those discussions can continue as we move forward with future developments, including the campground and the community event center project. We'd also like to sincerely thank the city's economic development team for their continued support, their guidance regarding available grants and funding opportunities, along with their insight with economic development and trends for this region. Their analysis and strategic planning has been extremely valuable. The collaborative relationship between the city and the Silver Sage continues to help identify ways in which we can complete one another in supporting tourism, agriculture, recreation, and the long-term growth of our region. The Silver Sage is proud of its history. We're strengthened by our challenges, and we're focused on our future. We continue to build a facility, as we're committed to building a facility and an organization that continues to serve not only the needs of today, but for the next generation for this region. I want to thank you for your time, your partnership, and your continued support, and I'm happy to take any questions with my time remaining.
Okay, thank you very much, Joel, for enlightening us as to what's going on out at the Silver Sage area. And I was out there 2 weeks ago, And I was amazed. I didn't see any drones because I thought there should have been some drones out there, because not only was there a function going on at the Silver Sage, which seemed like it was a huge event that was going on, but there was also a motocross event going on, and also there was a Brooks Bandits game going on. And if somebody had seen from above everything that's going on out there, they would say that that was a center or the hub of activity in Brooks for that particular weekend. So I want to thank you and your society for everything that you do, bringing tourism into the community, because it is very, very much appreciated.
Mayor, to your point with drones, we're actually looking at working on bringing a drone college workshop to the Ag Society to help for the agriculture with farming, because it's expanding into that. So thank you for that thought there.
Councillor Regner.
Again, thank you for what the Silver Sage does to the community, what it brings in. Quick question on your expansion. I could see the need with the amount of people that cycle through there for the connection to the wastewater. Do you guys have a budget for that? Are you asking for all of it, or do you have a contribution?
So one of the conversations that we had in 2024, 2025 was the idea of in-kind work by public utilities, that we simply just need to tie into the system. So that would be requesting down the road and having dialogue and conversation, the use of your team to come in and to dig in and to allow us to tie in. We've got some other, obviously, construction plans that would just that they would build up to that place, but making sure, because it is public utilities, that you guys would be able to compensate in some way through in kind. Yeah.
Councillor Idris.
Thank you, Joel, for the presentation, and amazing. Like, the numbers are like huge. So that is two questions. One around awareness of all of these events. I know many of these events are done by other groups, so they should take the responsibility of advertising. But how can we bring that awareness more in the community so that people know it's happening there? People can go to these, especially those public ones that are not, for example, specific group or something like that. That's my first question, and I'm going to give you the second question. You mentioned a number of different projects: the event center, the mezzanine, the outside arena. Do you have some timelines? And selfishly, I'm interested more in the event center. So do you have some timelines for that?
Thank you, through the chair, to Councillor Idris. Our awareness is part of the responsibility when any contract is drafted up, is that it's the responsibility of the event holder to publicly announce their events. We do post everything on our website, and with our recent partnership with Brooks Tourism, we believe that it's going to be more circulating through that. So, and through our Facebook page and website. So those are kind of the key areas that we look at. But because we do have so many user groups that are private, that rent it for their functions, it's up to them in general. So that would be to that. So your second question with project timelines, we are starting, hopefully here in the next few days, we'll have our permits for the campground and to start working. Now, not digging, it's not shovel ready, but to start the project. I do have here a conceptual drawing of what the campground will look like. I'm excited about that, and our partnership with the EID and different groups within the city to see this move forward. So that'll be our first year project. The reason why we're starting with that one in particular is because we're going to see an instant influx of finances to support the other projects that we have. So for example, we're looking at a third. A third will be for long-term rentals, then seasonal rentals, and then daily rentals. And we have also room to expand the campground down the road. So we're looking forward to that. We believe that will create a great revenue stream moving forward. With the with the event center, we're looking probably at about a 2-year timeline for that. We need to get to finish the roof project and the mezzanine. We're working closely with a local developer here in town. Proud to say that we're keeping everything local. We have the talent and the gifts here to use that, so we're doing that. So that we're looking at about a 2-year time frame. And as we continue to do fundraising and to bring in support, which is going quite well. I'm looking forward to our meeting in the next month with the government of Alberta to continue our partnership with them and to discuss more how we can work together to see this go forward. So thank you for that.
Councillor Johnson?
Thank you. Thanks, Joel, for your presentation. I do have a couple of questions as well. One was about the ETAs for that. But I was more interested in the campground. So is this going on the south side of Silver Sage? Or east or west?
Through the chair to Councillor Johnson. Yeah, so the idea will be directly across the street from the County of Newell building, through their building there. We've accessed, I believe it's just over 100 acres, I believe, don't quote me on that. And so we purchased that from the EID. There will be 3 entrances that will be to access the property, one from the Silver Sage, 2 from off of the back area of where the County of Newell building is, and then off of 145 there. So yeah.
So you mentioned a third. So 26 are going to be long-term. Is there like just year-round? Is that what you're saying? Or 26 seasonal and 26 day sites? Is that how I read that?
Yes, that's the approximate plan. One of the ways that we're strategically building this is that through long-term rentals, and we have groups that bring in seasonal construction workers and long-term construction workers that at this time do not have housing, and they find that this will be a great resource for them. And so in part, they're interested in partnering with us to guarantee a long-term housing solution for them.
So these are going to be power, water, sewer sites?
Yeah, full serviced. I believe it. I'm not an expert in camping, but I think it's going to be 30 plus ampage.
Councillor Nesbitt?
Just a great prospects going forward. Congratulations. I think that's amazing.
Thank
And
you.
looking forward to seeing it all and helping where we can. Maybe the idea as far as advertising, we've often talked many times over the years about a community automated sign that advertises all the events in our community. Like if we're growing, we need something like that just pops out there, the dates and times of things going on. It might raise a lot more awareness, and if we can keep that sign in the back of our minds, maybe going forward. Thank you, and congratulations.
Councillor Falkenberg?
Hi, Joel. Thanks for coming. I appreciate all the information and the opportunity to ask you about this, but I just love what you guys are doing. The fact that you guys seem passionate about this and really want to grow the area is awesome. Although I didn't grow up in rodeo. It's not necessarily a big part of who I am. It is growing up in Brooks, Alberta. It's part of who I am. This brings me to the point that a lot of kids these days don't have a clue about rodeo, the culture, or even where our food necessarily comes from. And being Brooks, we have a huge immigrant population. Those kids have never been immersed in any of this. They don't understand. Like for me growing up here, I get it. For a lot of these new families coming here, they have no idea. I'm just more wondering, do you guys have any idea or any programs for future that you plan to bring forward, something like Ag Days or something? I know like Calgary Stampede does a great job. People that have no idea where their food comes from, they can go in and they can pretend milk a cow or something like that. I'm just curious if there's any idea of something that you guys can do, some days that you can do to bring the school kids in and just show them what agriculture is all about.
That's a great question. Through the chair to Councillor Fultonberger. That's a great question. One of the things that we're doing with community awareness and building that community pride is our partnership with the JBS, or our JBS plant here, and working with them to continue to bring, as people come in, to make sure that they are aware of the Silver Sage. I would say this, that in our last 2 rodeos, what we found is that a lot of the people that they're employing come from Mexico and Colombia and in those southern places, which actually do have a ranching background. So for many of them, it is an excitement and almost brings them back to a place of being home, which then gives them that community pride. And so we're excited to partner with them. When it comes to more of the education, we've looked at in partnering with Tourism Alberta, Farm Days is coming up this year, and where we'll be giving full facility tours, get to see horses and some cows, some sheep, and so that continues to build that gap. And so we're continually evolving and working to make sure that we can provide the best education for everyone. Yeah, thank you.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
Are there any further questions of Joel? Okay, seeing none, thank you very much, and pass on our compliments to the board and to the directors out there. I guess it's Carlotta and Daryl still, is it?
No comment. Yes, no, they are. Yes, they are. Yeah, and I just also would like to extend a thank you again to the City Council. I'll be handing off to Jenny some passes and some information for the upcoming Newell Pro Rodeo for you and your families to enjoy the festivities, as we're grateful for your partnership with us. So thank you again.
Okay, thank you. And it's been moved by Councillor Regner that the Silver Sage Agricultural Society update be accepted as information. All those in favor? Carried. It has been moved by Councillor Falkenberg that the following items of correspondence be received as information: update on council conferences and or workshops, notes of council committee April 21st, 2026, and the Newell Housing Foundation minutes of April 7th, 2026. All those in favor? Carried. We will now call on our Director of Corporate Services, Brian Leibel, who will give us a quarterly financial variance report. Director Leibel.
Thank you, Mayor. Through the chair to Mayor and Council, hello everyone. I'd like to start out by thanking the Finance Department for all their work in preparing the quarterly financial information, as well as all the directors and managers who contributed to the forecasts. It's my pleasure to present the Q1 variance report, especially since it's a positive report, with the city starting the year in a favorable financial position. The capital report is projecting the most significant favorable variance. You'll see the projected favorable variance of $7,007,133, which is obviously due primarily to the prediction for the Public Works building, but notably also the transit bus, the cemetery, and mower replacement, also forecasting large favorable variances. You'll also notice on that same report, the city has a total approved capital budget of $68,881,138, of which $8,639,790.60 is spent, and the projected spend is $61,874,005. The other good news story, of course, is in operating. So in the Q1 operating, there's a projected favorable variance at year end of $71,911 in tax-supported operations. Self-supported operations are projected to be on budget in all areas by year end, so also good news there. The primary driver of the favorable revenue variance is the projected land sales from our land sales department, which are also the primary driver of costs as the land moves from the balance sheet to the income statement when sold. So we see the costs down in materials, goods, and supplies on that operating report. The other variance we see in contracted services is from consulting services. So the self-supported operations include our utilities, so that's solid waste, sewer, and water. And with revenues, we are on budget with a small surplus and expect maintenance to increase throughout the summer months, without any variances from budget at this point predicted at year end. I would recommend in the future, though, that we do keep in mind our reserve transfers as we build capital. Obviously, for large projects like the wastewater treatment plant, we have to ensure we've got reserves in place to replace that capital when it does come due. So yeah, we'll speak more of that, I guess, in upcoming budget discussions. But with that, I'd like to give it back to council to make motion and questions.
Thank you very much, Director Leibel. And the questions can be asked of Director Leibel or Kathy Slaney. Councilor Johnson.
Everybody's changing positions today.
Choosing positions today.
I had a couple of questions, as always. I am looking at page 1 of your financials, I guess operating budget variance. I'm just questioning 2 items, of course. 147,000 off on wages. Why such a huge change? That's quite significant. That's a whole person.
Yeah, thank you for the question. It is a significant portion. Our budget to year end being $10,172,401. There was several different areas that contribute to this. One of the areas you'll note is in self-supported, where it's under. That we believe, we're looking into it further, but we believe there's just essentially staffing helping out in the tax-supported areas, like parks, rather than helping out in the utilities, resulting in some allocation of their wages to that area rather than to the utilities area. So you'll see a favorable variance down in self-supported. There are some contract payments that happened in Q1 that is a one-time event this year. Hence the projection at 90,000 projected year-end unfavorable rather than the current 147 unfavorable. And there's a number of other departments, essentially with overtime and other items, such as access transit and recreation, facilities, and administration as well, just having some overages, essentially due to additional time spent that was not
So is that
budgeted.
temporary, I guess, is my question. These are like kind of one-time things?
Yes, that's our anticipation. So
Okay.
yeah, our projection is that by year end it will still be unfavorable, but not quite as much as it is right now.
Okay, and then also on page 2, we went over our budget almost 50%. Math percentages are hard on the electronic security access for the fire hall. Was there a specific issue with that?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I did know that as well, and had a few conversations with people before this, actually on that item in specific. I believe my understanding is there's a 3 doors that got installed equipment rather than 2, and so I think that's a large part of the variance. Part of the variance also was getting a quote and then inflation just hitting them after the fact, so things got a little bit more expensive than they had anticipated.
Councilor Regner?
Going back to the salaries, wages, and benefits, budgeted for the first quarter was the 2.14 million, yet for the annual entire year was 10.17 million. So the 8.6 that, of course, the 3 or 4 times the first quarter, the difference in there of the couple $1 million, that's going to be for the summer students. Is that where that gap would be? Like the first quarter at we'll say $2 million. At the end of the year, we're at 10. So we're out a bit, right?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So we've had several different discussions, I guess, within finance, just looking at how we allocate the budget between the seasons, and trying to account for all the different kinds of factors. What they ended up doing for this quarter was they decided to prorate it based on the number of pay periods to try and match those pay periods to come closer that way. So yeah, while it isn't a quarter of the budget, it is reflective of the pay periods within that period. And we will see, as you mentioned, that there will be some seasonal staffing too, as well during the summer, for sure.
Okay, question number 2 on the second page. And I didn't have time to go back and look, but on the lineal trails at the 100,000, did we not approve that? Because that's 100,000 gives you like 86 feet of trail, I believe that was, through the rec department.
Yeah, thank you for the question. That is a carry forward from the prior year. So you're essentially, yeah, looking at a budget that was approved by a prior council.
So that'll carry until it's spent, so the money's already sitting there?
That's right. Yeah, our capital budgets carry forward to future years unless they get completed or canceled.
Okay, but the money is sitting there for that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Nesbitt?
Through the chair to Brian, Director Brian, can you put that money into a specific reserve fund so that we can continue to grow it and not spend it, so that future linear trails will make the budget someday?
Absolutely. Yeah. No.
I don't know if that's I'm sure that we haven't really had a conversation about that, but it'd be great if we could.
Yeah, it's a great question, and the answer is yes. You know, if we don't use the funds for that project, it essentially gets reserved for future years, even if it's a grant funding. In the case of LGFF funds, those grants can get utilized elsewhere for similar projects. 100%. Thank you.
We'll have to find good projects.
Interim CEO Legore?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to commend all staff, not just our corporate services, but we're under budget operating and we're under budget on capital, and I'd just like to recognize that. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
It's really good.
Thank you very much. Are there, Councillor Idris?
Just a small question. Like I'm not saying why, but just want to understand how we have like $500,000 more in other revenues under the operating budget, like a little bit over $500,000, like by year end. What are we expecting that we were not planning for?
Yeah, thank you for the question. It's a good question. So that relates to land sales. So essentially, land sales are very difficult to predict. So it becomes a budget item that gets discussed every year in terms of how do we approach this. Mm-hmm. And for 2026, the answer was to budget to leave them out of the budget. And so those land sales are driving up our revenues in other revenue. So thank you for the question.
Okay, are there any further questions?
Okay.
If not, thank you very much, Director Leibel, for clarifications. And it has been moved by Councillor Idris that the quarterly financial variance report be accepted as information. All those in favor? Carried. We will now have Director of Planning and Community Development, Director Tiffin, who will tell us about policy C-001-001, the healthcare attraction incentive.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Through you to Council. One of the primary areas of responsibility for the Brooks Newell Region Healthcare Attraction, Integration, and Retention Committee is to implement creative and practical incentive programs, such as an attraction package with incentives that will help new healthcare professionals and doctors establish themselves within our community. An attraction package was created, and now a policy is needed to implement these incentives. So this policy is attached for your reference. It's designed to clearly define the incentives, who will be eligible, and then to create a simple process where candidates can apply. So since this policy was last shared with Council, some changes have been made. We have expanded the definition of candidate to allow for future inclusion of other healthcare professionals, be it diagnostic imaging technicians, nurse practitioners, paramedics, etc. We have also expanded the definition of municipalities to state that the CAO will serve as a representative for their respective municipalities. Section 5 was adjusted, that's application and eligibility, to have the Director of Planning and Community Development make the official recommendation to the CAOs for either approval, partial approval, or denial of incentives. Through Council's directions, sections 13A, B, and C were amended to provide the private banking service for 1 year instead of 3. And again, through Council's direction, section 11B was amended to make it clear how rent will be charged, and that rent will be charged monthly as a reflection of annually incurred property taxes. So this policy was shared with the County of Newell administration and discussed with their council. They provided official support by motion on April 23rd. And as such, staff is now recommending that policy C-001-001, the healthcare attraction incentive policy, be approved by council.
Thank you very much, Director Tiffin. Councillor Phillipson.
Thank you, Lisa, and I think you did a good job on the policy. I think the doctors should be very happy if they can come to Brooks.
Councillor Johnson.
Thank you. Lisa, I just want to clarify section 12 again. That the motor vehicle, we're not providing a motor vehicle, is that correct?
Yeah, through the chair to Councillor Johnson, at this time we do not have a motor vehicle to provide. Volunteers are working with some local car dealerships who have expressed a little bit of interest. We're hoping that those local businesses would step up. And if not, then it may be something that we just don't have available and therefore we cannot provide.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any further questions? Councillor Rignert.
Number 13 for the $50,000 line of credit card, that sort of thing. Why are we paying all the fees for that? Like the interest fees and application fees, we're not getting that money back. So do we have a projection of what that would cost if they max that out?
Through the chair to Councillor Regner, I do have that exact amount, just not physically on me right now. The bank that we've been working with gave us a quote on what that percentage would be, and therefore what if the candidate had maxed out that $50,000 line of credit, along with the wealth management services. There's a monthly fee. So I believe that all in, it would be around the $3,500 mark per candidate per year. But I can check the exact specific numbers if you'd like me to get them.
I guess my concern is if the city's going to pay, or the city and the county are going to pay $3,500 for somebody to borrow money, I would hope that a savvy person would come along, drain that account of $50,000, put it in a 1-year term, and get $2,500 out of that while we're paying for that ability.
Yeah, through the chair to Councillor, I suppose they could if they were super savvy. That would be to their own prerogative. It definitely takes advantage of what the intention of this program is going to do, and our hope would that we would be working with more honest people than that.
Councillor Johnson.
Hi, I'm going to have a glass more full kind of perspective on that. I just had a question. With all of this retention and all the things that we're providing, there is for sure some kind of clause where they have to commit to being in Brooks for a certain period of time. I know it's not in this. I was just wondering if you could tell us what that term is.
Yeah, through the chair to Councillor Johnson, I believe that it is in here, section 6, the commitment to practice agreement would be, the candidates would be required to sign that between the municipalities and the recipient, and it would be for a period of 5 years. That's okay.
Okay, are there any further questions? Councillor Nesbitt.
Through the chair to Director Tiffin. So can you go into a little bit more as to why we changed the guidelines as to who could do an application, like we've expanded that role beyond the physicians? Just to give some clarification.
Through the
Thank
chair to
you.
Councillor Nesbitt, the intention was always that this, because this has never been called a physician's attraction, it has always been dubbed healthcare attraction. We've been working with RPAP, which is the rural health practitioners, it's not the rural physicians anymore, with the intention that it takes everyone in the healthcare system to make the healthcare system efficient. So if there's no healthcare aides, if there's no housekeeping available to clean rooms, it doesn't matter how many doctors you have on staff, you can't take a patient in a room that hasn't been cleaned. So the community medical director has been working very closely with the other healthcare professions, such as diagnostic imaging, which has been identified as a large bottleneck. Nursing obviously has been. Paramedics has definitely been flagged as a concerning area. So we wanted to launch the program and have it available specifically now for doctors and physicians, and then get out all of the kinks, and if it's working well, then to expand the program and to allow other people to apply. So right now, candidate is defined as any healthcare practitioner, but their approval is subject to available budget and resources. So for example, with the healthcare housing, if we have an empty house sitting there and we have a paramedic apply to be part of it, assuming that we have the resources and the budget available, we would provide a recommendation based on that.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Councillor Regner?
I had the same question, only part two of that was, do we have a hierarchy? Like if a doctor comes and a paramedic come, that we give it to the doctor versus the paramedic, seeing that it was a doctor's incentive first and foremost?
Yeah, through the chair to Councillor Regner, our committee did discuss that, of having almost like a tiered approach to it, that other professions could access housing for 5 months or 6 months or 3 months. They could access a $20,000 loan and that sort of thing. So after this pilot project, this first kick at this, has been implemented, we would come back with kind of some more very specific structured recommendations around that, with that exact intention in mind, that if the key area that we're trying to attract is doctors, they would get the highest value of incentives.
Are there, Councillor Lidis?
Like, following on that, I think also the idea of community needs matter. Like, for example, I know a couple of years ago we had the big issue with vets, and we used some of the resources from this, not this specific policy, but the previous version of this to help with attracting vets in the community. So based on where you are in the community in terms of doctors or other healthcare professionals, that also can be.
Okay. Are there any other further questions? Seeing none, thank you, Director Tiffin. And it has been moved by Councillor Nesbitt that Council approve policy C-001-001 entitled the Healthcare Attraction Incentive. All those in favor? Carried. It has been moved by Councillor Falkenberg that Council close the meeting to the public for agenda item 8A, land matter as per section 19 of the ATIA, and 8B, agreement negotiations as per section 29 of the ATIA at 5:20. All those in favor? Carried.